This show features adults using adult language. Falcon!
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Geekquinox on Two Hillbillies Play. I am Ji-Et-Toh, joined once again with my other hillbilly,
Don Bronson.
And my good buddy Brandon, aka Black Moses.
What's up?
And my other buddy Ben, the comic book hero, also known as Blitzstar.
Yo.
And last episode, we talked about Avengers Age of Ultron and some things like that. We're going to move on, starting this one with Ant-Man, coming out on July 17th, 2015. Let me give you the synopsis real quick for Ant-Man here.
So, for Ant-Man, he's such a key character for everything dealing Marvel, and it kind of blows me away that they waited. So, they did 2 Iron Man movies. Or was it 3 Iron Man movies?
Three.
3 Iron Man movies.
Is he the only Avenger that has like 3? The most. He has the most.
Thor and Cap are getting 3 movies too. So.
Well, Iron Man's already signed for
I know, but
they've
got
though.
a third coming out.
Tony Stark said he would go ahead. He wasn't originally going to sign for any more.
Well, I think
casting.
he signed for Avengers movies and stuff, and he signed for Cap. I don't think he signed on to do another solo project.
I'm sure he will. Let's be honest. There's too much money. And it's Robert Downey Jr.
His contracts are bank. There's no doubt about that.
And they're making their monies out of it. That's the weird part, you know.
All right, so here's a synopsis for Ant-Man. Armed with a super suit with the astonishing ability to shrink in scale but increase in strength, con man Scott Lang must embrace his inner hero and help his mentor, Dr. Hank Pym, plan and pull off a heist that will save the world.
So they're not even going to focus on Hank Pym.
Exactly.
So,
all right, so let's start with the
okay.
comic book part here. All right, Hank Pym, the original Avenger, the original creator of Ultron, all this.
One of the key characters in Marvel, without a doubt.
Yes.
So I hear what you're saying, but I don't even know who the fuck this person is. So that's
what we're fixing to do.
So audience, I'm going to be you. Those of you that are listening that don't know what the fuck, any of the comic shit is, I'm going to ask you the questions for you. So, who is this guy and why is he important? And you say that he is the first Avenger.
Well, he's in the original Avengers.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
There's multiple iterations of the Avengers.
Well, this was the original Avengers. It was him, Wasp.
His Wasp is his wife, who is not in this movie.
That's what I was. Another thing.
They have their daughter. Evangeline Lilly is playing Hope Van Dyne, which is their daughter. Now Michael Douglas is playing Hank Pym. So Hank Pym is old in this movie. He's old and done. He's not a young hero. This movie is based on Scott Lang, which is the second Ant-Man. Okay, so for comic book, Scott Lang is the second Ant-Man.
Yes.
Which go ahead, you can tell his story a little bit. Like who Scott Lang is.
I don't care much about Scott Lang or
that's the problem with this movie.
Ant-Man, and that's the problem.
That's the problem with this movie.
Is because for me, only thing I ever cared about was Hank Pym. He had such a key part in Marvel Comics that's what's really important.
Yeah.
Ultron. Yeah, Scott Lang had some parts to play with it in future Ultrons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter to the point of that they're skipping out on so much storyline because of that.
Yeah.
So Scott Lang, I guess I'm gonna have to read some about it. Do I care about it? Not really, but I will.
To my knowledge, all right. Scott Lang, I believe, and I could be very wrong. All right, hopefully there's somebody. We know a good decent bit about some of the comics and stuff and things like that. But if there's somebody listening that knows more, if I'm getting this wrong, go ahead, comment, let me know. We'll get it right.
Put us on blast.
Yeah, but I think that he stole the equipment because he was in bad with mobsters or something like that, something to that effect. They had his daughter, or whatever it may be, come across it and was like, okay, I can get her back this way. I don't think he was a real good dude at first, and Hank Pym he was
took him under his wing.
Exactly, and it was like, okay, here
another Jason Todd case. That's all I heard you say.
Yeah. So I believe it's got something to do like that. Now, also we know that Hank Pym has had many iterations. He's Ant-Man, he's Giant Man, he's Yellow Jacket. Goliath.
Yeah.
He's been all these things. All right.
His power's always been about the same, though. That's not the point.
Yeah.
And the thing is like
it was more of a mental state that changed it.
I don't think when I think of Ant-Man, I don't think of Ant-Man. I think of Pym.
Yes.
I don't. The superhero name isn't a factor to me. It's just Pym.
Well, Ant-Man.
He's one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe. To put it into perspective for everybody, up there with he's passing. Or equivalent, whatever you guys call it. I think he's surpassed Tony Stark, Bruce Banner.
Yes.
These are your power four, as I would call them.
Well, like, as this being new knowledge to me, like, if he's so important, like, why haven't they done anything?
And that's the problem.
That's the one left over on the Avengers that I knock it for, that they didn't have him in there. This is coming out after the Age of Ultron, when this is the guy that created it.
I think it's because the name Ant-Man.
Okay, well, and that's something to touch on too.
When I think of super, because the superhero's name
is
so
so
much.
Yes.
When you think of Thor, like there's already so much backing Thor, like like a whole
mythology based around it.
Based around it, and they stick with the mythology, which is what's cool about it. And and like Iron Man and fucking
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's why I brought up the point that he has many names: Giant Man. Goliath. He doesn't just shrink, okay? He grows as tall, as big as he wants, and fucking punch the Hulk into a hole in the ground.
So if you was to say, like, so what's the character's name? Like, what's his real name?
Hank Pym? Or are you talking about the person playing the character?
No.
It's Hank Pym. It's the original Ant-Man.
Is the character's like
legal name?
I guess you would say
his surname is proper with it. Fuck.
Yeah. So
or Henry.
If you were to ask other comic book fans, what's his name?
Jesus,
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym. If you were to go up to comic book fans and say, like, who is Hank Pym?
Where you're asking what they say, they would say Ant-Man.
Goliath? Or
they would say
Ant-Man.
They would say Ant-Man.
See, Ant-Man is not cool, man. That name Ant-Man.
Ant-Man's not cool, man.
Dude, have you ever been bit by a fire ant? Hot damn, man.
Well,
bad.
the whole perspective on that character is an ant is a microscopic almost thing, and it can live
10 times its body weight. Yeah.
So
ants are strong for what an ant is.
I understand the logistics behind it. Dude, like, I understand, but the name
is what it's holding you back.
Name is
and
like,
that was the problem with
it's like, really? Ant-Man is smarter than Iron Man?
Ant-Man is actually Sheldon's favorite comic book character.
Is it really?
The Army Ant.
We're crossing genres here.
Okay.
Big Bang Theory, by the way, definitely going to have an episode on it.
But the biggest thing about Ant-Man, what I was reading about and understanding, was they were having a problem with the director who wanted to stand behind it, because it is
Edgar Wright
it's
left
not
it.
easy to
or was I don't know if left it.
for.
I don't know if left it is the right word as so much as was taking off of it.
Because
that caused a lot of controversy.
It's one of those characters. I think Ant-Man is not a good independent character as far as movie book goes or movie adaptation goes.
Yeah,
I think he's a great supporting role, and that's what I hope.
He should be in the Avengers.
He should be in the Avengers.
Yeah.
And I will be upset. We already touched about it. I will be upset they don't mention about it.
Yes.
So what you're saying is he should have been like. He should have been in the movie.
He should have been Hawkeye before Hawkeye was in there.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah, I agree.
Kind of like Metal Gear Solid. Kind of like Metal Gear Solid, leaving out Big Boss.
Yeah,
for the first two games.
Like
they started mentioning him at the end of the first game, but yes, absolutely. But you play him in the SNES. Never mind, that's a different thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is Big Boss. You're playing the SNES.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's who you are playing the SNES.
But anyways,
Solid Snake. Never mind.
Yeah,
another new episode, by the way.
So he should have been like at least a member in S.H.I.E.L.D., like doing something.
They should have had him somewhere incorporated in that. Yes. But from what I'm trying to gather is, even though you see some grays on Tony Stark, he's a little bit older, so maybe they're trying to do a modern-ish, not modern-ish, but as far as comic book.
Hank Pym is an old guy in this. It's Scott Lang that's the new Ant-Man. And here's another thing too. Hank Pym is Yellow Jacket. Okay, it was Yellow Jacket and a little cuckoo, but he's Yellow Jacket. Well, in this movie, this guy Corey Stoll is playing the character Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket, who's going to be the villain for this movie. So I'm assuming Scott Lang steals this shit and becomes Ant-Man for another guy to come steal the crap and become Yellow Jacket and be the bad guy, and they're going to fight each other tiny and I don't know. So it's
gonna be like,
I had some
it's gonna be
problems.
like Honey,
Stay
I
till the
Shrunk
credits and probably something good about
Right.
Doctor Strange or
It's gonna
something.
be like Honey, I Shrunk the Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. So
Basically, yeah.
and here's the thing: Marvel is doing so much right. All right, like I said, we discussed this earlier, off camera or whatever. But Iron Man 3, I had some issues with, or whatever. Not enough issues to say
it wasn't
to
not go see it.
exactly, yeah.
Or not recommended to somebody.
And
Absolutely.
everything Marvel's doing, Guardians of the Galaxy, to take a small, no name comic book,
B-list
almost,
comic
yes,
book heroes.
and to blow it up the way that they did, I'm buying anything Marvel pretty much. This one, I'm not so much buying.
I'm
will
gonna
go
go
see it. I will go see this, and I will give it its fair shake. But
Doesn't
I'm
Tony-
not excited about seeing this like I am the other one.
And doesn't Tony Stark have something to do with Guardians of the Galaxy? Like, doesn't he make an appearance in that?
In the comics,
Should,
yeah. In the comics, he does.
They
yeah.
do mention a lot about the Nova Corps and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you will see a Nova appear somewhere, and he's pretty much a badass character.
So Tony Stark. So
I highly expect Nova to appear in the
he
second
should be
Guardians of the
somewhere
Galaxy.
soon. Yeah.
I mean, Tony Stark helps tie together the Guardians of the Galaxy with Avengers, right?
He does
Well,
in the comics, yeah.
So Captain America is like the team leader, I guess. Iron Man's really the very vocal person of Marvel. He's the one who kind of ties everybody, Avengers to X-Men, X-Men to he's the guy who does. He's so good at public speaking because that's what he is. He's a fucking
Right.
billionaire playboy.
Right.
That's what he
Right.
does.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of him stepping up. Civil War.
Okay.
That's
before
something-
I was gonna
before we get to
say
that, because
something
that's
about it.
fixing to get in there.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move on to that, because that is the next topic. I just want everybody else a quick buy or sell. I understand that Marvel, and we're still going to see it, but give me your opinions, based on some of what you know about this movie. How do you feel about going and seeing Ant-Man? I mean, I'm going to see it, but I'm not excited. I mean, that's the best I can do for that one. It's not like these other properties where I'm fucking there with the doors open.
Is Sean Penn Ant-Man?
No. All right. Great.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
What
And
do
I'm
you
not.
think?
I'm not excited about Ant-Man at all. It's just too far off story. And it's just how can you insult Hank Pym like that? You're talking about a comic book character, but how can you insult Hank Pym like that after being not in Avengers, after everything else? It's like, dude, I'll still go see it because it's Marvel and I want to support Marvel because I want them to keep doing these things.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But
They're
it's
gonna
like,
thrive no matter what. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're breaking my balls. Come on, man.
So for me, I'm gonna go see it. I'm not gonna have any doubt about it. Did anybody go see that movie Lucy? Was that the name of the movie?
Lucy,
which was fucking stupid.
My wife wanted to see Lucy.
Universal, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting out of this movie. Was something I walk out the air like, what the fuck did I just watch? And that's okay with me as long as they get the character introduced. That's all I care about.
Right.
As long as Pym starts getting introduced, is Scott Lang. I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll read about it now that I'm,
Right.
But Pym's very important.
Yes.
Everybody can agree that Hank Pym
Absolutely.
is super important
Absolutely.
to the storyline.
Well, I hate ants.
Me too. I think this ain't fun, but
I have a lot of fucking ants in my yard, and I kill them every chance I get. I fucking hate ants.
All right, cool. Now we got Pete on us. Are you happy? What's that got to do? So I'm saying, you hate ants. You hate the Ant-Man. We're done with the movie. Is that it?
you'll go see it. We'll have a couple beers before we go see it. How about that?
Yeah.
PETA
That'll give
ought
us
to be
enough
happy.
about
PETA is people eating tasty animals, right? so
Jesus.
I mean, as
Don't
far as
sue us.
as far as I have no idea who this Ant-Man is.
Right,
I mean,
right.
even without seeing the Avengers, I knew who Thor was. I knew who Iron Man was. I mean, I even know who Hawkeye was.
Which is kind of impressive. That's actually something to state too, though. Hank Pym being one of these original members and everything.
He's really not.
And there are characters that have joined it that they know more than Hank Pym.
And that's the thing is,
something
like,
else to say
a
about
lot
the
of
character in the
people-
movie is
He's such an important character, but he's really B-list.
he's
if you
always
think
in the
about it.
background. It seems
He's not
like, you know?
oh man, here's my VIP, and then you put okay, you may be top 10 to come in the club after my VIP.
Right.
And that's something to say about it. That's something very true, and I agree.
So it's a good point. Yeah, it's a very good point. That such an important member, yet at the same time, mainstream wise,
who gives a
less
shit
known.
about somebody being Ant-Man, as you said, who grows in size, grows in strength, goes smaller, still has strength.
I mean, it's hard to get behind him when you don't even know who he is. It's like I'm not even going to be impressed with Aquaman until he makes a fucking movie showing how badass he is.
Right.
You know, you can't when you don't even know somebody, like the character. You know, if you're not a comic book fan,
Which here's something to take to though. A lot of the buying process on movies and everything comes from watching the trailers. So, like letting them give you an example of what they're setting up the tone, how it's going to go, and everything.
On me.
Exactly. Avengers sells the shit out of it. That trailer makes you jacked to go watch it. I have seen no Ant-Man trailer yet, so I there's nothing showing me to base this on.
I mean, that just
we'll get to it.
I mean, obviously, that was not in their criteria for like they didn't see that it was important.
Marvel thinks everything.
I could watch next Ant-Man movie and be like, "Holy fuck, I fucking love Ant-Man now."
Exactly, and that's why the Marvel machine is good. That's why the Marvel machine is good.
I don't know how I feel about Ant-Man now because this is the first time I've ever heard of the movie.
But when the trailer drops, if they do it right, this could change.
Yeah.
So we'll touch that later. We hinted on that Civil War there. One of the biggest events. I remember one of the things I was most excited about when I started like kind of getting back into comics was I started with the Civil War series.
Civil War.
I have one question. Like it has something to do with it.
Okay. Yeah.
So the actor playing Captain America.
Yes. Chris Evans.
All right. So I personally think he's a good Captain America.
He's actually who I can see him playing.
I'm very okay with it.
He seems really like I want to do the right fucking thing.
He does a good job.
Yeah,
I think so.
And so I'm pretty happy with the Captain. I just want to know y'all's. I guess it was
your opinion on.
It was just like the
I wanted to state that I like him
because him going up against Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man is kind of
hard.
Okay, let's change the question. Let's change the question.
Example:
pick
Civil War.
Pick a side. Pick a side right now. You've seen Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. You've seen Steve Rogers' Cap. Pick a side. Who do you choose?
Man,
don't make me pick a side.
So you put in that perspective. Obviously, I'm gonna be Team Tony Stark / that. But if you know, do you know any bases about Civil War?
No, but I am a fan of the underdog, and I would say
you're the underdog in a superhero fight.
That's the thing.
I mean, I would say that Captain America would kind of be the underdog. I mean, he's fucking really badass. He's really strong. He's really fucking fast. But he doesn't have the resources that Tony Stark has. He just doesn't. He has to fucking. He just has to outwit.
He's a quarterback of quarterbacks. I
mean, let's put it like this. Now, this is not going to happen. By the way, all right, we know the Civil War storyline. Something very bad happened. Some heroes were chasing some bad guys. The bad guy blew up Nitro.
Some people died.
And it blew up an entire town. It destroyed a school, the kids, everybody.
A lot of people died.
Yes. And then the government said, all right, who's got these heroes in check? Who's doing what? And y'all need to register and basically become super cops. And some of the heroes were like, no, our identities are what keep us safe when we go home at night. We don't need the bad guys knowing who the hell we are on top of everything else.
That's the big problem with it. So you have Team Tony Stark.
Yes. And they say, we follow the government, we do what they say.
The government. It doesn't matter to Tony Stark because he's already cutting the government paycheck anyway because he's selling them everything they use.
Yeah.
And then you have Rogers over here in the blue corner.
Yeah. And Steve Rogers is known. He has no secret identity. Everybody knows Captain America. But he is still keeping it secret.
The people.
Which I think is pretty interesting that his last movie, The Winter Soldier.
Oh, so good, by the
Bucky.
way.
Which was S.H.I.E.L.D. being controlled by Hydra.
Yes.
Which is a lot to do with everything.
And it's a lot. It's going to have a shitload to tie into with what's going on.
In my mind, that would have something to do with him not trusting the government because
that has a lot to do with it.
They played that in the Avengers.
Even in the first Avengers, it was all like, why are you building all these weapons? It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so the way Marvel ties all this together is brilliant to me, and I like that. Now, like I said, that's the that's the comic side of what's going to happen. I don't expect some bad guy to come running through and blow up half of this movie. And it's not going to be quite like that.
I stand behind Captain America and Captain Morgan. Two captains.
Hell
Making
yeah.
it happen.
I mean, for me, I'm really excited about this movie.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite comic book stories. You have Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
You name a character.
They're in it.
They're in it fighting for a side.
Yes, every
This is
single
a
Marvel
movie,
character has
there
something
is
to do
going to
with
be
this
a
thing.
little bit of talking in and a lot of badass,
They
fight
showed
scenes and
a
all bunch
clip
of stuff.
when they did the announcement for all these movies. They showed a clip of Iron Man and Cap talking, and they're out splitting wood, and Iron Man's chopping wood, and Cap's chopping wood, and everything. And they kind of
Wait, why the fuck are they chopping wood?
I don't know.
Two men alone in the woods.
Have you seen Brokeback Mountain?
But let's be honest,
But
all American.
they kind of get a little heated or whatever in their argument, and Cap has a giant log in his hands, and he just rips it.
So
With his bare hands, this log splits and goes flying.
Captain America towers Tony Stark in stature.
See, here's the thing. That's kind of what I'm getting at. The movies don't really do Cap justice.
He is a
bad
fucking
mofo,
dude. He is.
know. And when he
put
rips
the
that
Hulk
thing with
in
his
check. That's what a whole lot of people don't understand was that Hulk defeated the rest of the Avengers. He did not defeat Captain America.
Right.
Captain America put that motherfucker to sleep.
Yes. So and that's the thing. Cap is a bad, and I love that scene that I saw because of that fact that it's showing it. Cap ain't no joke.
He's not.
You can have that
He's not
suit,
just a
and if he
shield.
wants to, he will punch through your suit. I mean, and it's a good establishing point to say that this is going the right way, to show that they can go toe to toe, that they can match up and do what they've got to do. The imagery is perfect.
like I look at it like, Tony Stark, he has he has technology behind him.
Yeah.
But, you can only go so far with that. Like, when you have somebody that has just abilities, I mean, like,
Well, when you have Captain here, you have a guy who excels at everything.
You're the peak of
You are the
perfection.
peak of humanity. Perfection.
Whatever.
That's exactly what Captain America is.
you're
He's a
borderlining.
superhuman.
You're borderlining the Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
you're not much further from what the Hulk can do,
Yeah.
Well, in gist of things, but you have this guy. The thing is, the difference between Tony Stark, during this whole thing, you see him struggling a lot with his identity. You'll see a lot of Iron Man struggling with who he is as a person, trying to figure out, like, these are my friends, but this is what I think is right.
Some of the clips have shown that he's like, this is kind of...
This
It's
is
almost
right,
like,
this
this
is
is what
wrong.
I have done.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
it's one of
very
those
foreshadowing and something bad's fixing
And
to
it's
happen.
one of those things that he actually follows through. But, spoiler alert real quick. At the very end of Civil War, you see Captain America take down his cow and offer up his wrist to the cops.
Yeah.
As a peace. Like, this is stupid. We don't need to be fighting against each other. And it really puts everybody in perspective of things. And that's what it gets back to. Captain America has something to fight for. It's hard to say what Tony Stark fights for. He fights for himself, for other people that he considers friends, but Captain America is embedded because he is a soldier first and foremost for America, that he fights for the American people.
Well, Iron Man's ego is bigger than the fucking Hulkbuster. Like,
Well, yeah, there's no doubt about
see
that.
a lot-
he's fighting a lot for his
This
ego.
is a lot of where you see Iron Man really start to change personality.
Yeah.
It's in Civil
This is
War.
gonna
You'll see him start to really
a lot.
fall into his place because at the end he sees like Captain America. I can't remember the exact lines, but there's like 3 panels where Captain America and then Tony Stark just like, what the fuck? I'm on the wrong side. Like you basically see that.
It's eating him alive. Yeah.
And then, I mean, dude, it's such a crucial fight.
It's such a good story too.
don't
By
they
the way,
swap-
you should
don't they
really
swap positions.
pretty much.
Don't they
much,
start
yeah.
off and
pretty much.
they swap sides?
But this is such a good thing to read too, though. Like, side note, I know we're talking about the movies and everything here, but like, if you want to get a comic and you want to know something, you want a good story to read, this
It's
is
a good
it.
place to start.
It involves everybody. I mean, the comics go through it affects the X-Men, it affects the Fantastic Four, everybody
Civil War?
you know.
Maybe
Yes,
we could do
the entire universe
Almost everybody.
is in on it. Yeah. So, one more quick thing. What about
Go ahead.
What about the announcement of Black Panther showing up in Cap?
Oh my god. One of my favorite superheroes. Let's talk about the King real quick. You know, he's such a badass character, so dark, secretive. He's technically the richest character in comic books, planner wise.
Well, I don't have a big building in New York. I just got a whole country in Africa.
Like, so recently I kind of like stumbled upon a little bit of the Black Panther. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but so he is like the king of this place in Africa.
Yeah, Wakanda.
It's really like highly advanced. Like they have
Oh, yeah.
technology out there.
Think very Aztec-y. That's the way you have to kind of.
Well, but if you look at it like this, like there's like you can go to Wakanda and not even find Wakanda.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes any sense.
Well,
Like,
it's like a well, I mean, it's a made up area in.
yeah, well, yes, no, but I mean, like comic wise,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, the
Like,
technology
the
is so
city
good,
is
they
so
stay
hidden.
hidden. It's not like people are fixing to just
Right.
stumble in there and start a war with them or whatever.
Yeah, but
They've got.
It's not a war you want to
but-
start.
but-
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna
Well,
lose.
what I know of Black Panther is that he's like he's the king of that area of Africa, and he has technology. He's like technology that you didn't even know existed there.
And the funny thing is, though, he doesn't use that much technology, though. I like to equate him to like another
Doesn't.
Cap. He's like
He's
a
a
Cap.
very Captain American-y.
He's agile.
for
He's
his
quick.
country.
He's strong.
So
he eats the heart root or whatever it is, you know, that gives him that little extra power and stuff.
So he
but
actually has like special powers.
He's
he's pretty much just a really beast human. He
he's
wears
the
a
peak of
vibranium
perfection.
suit.
That's what I'm saying. He's peak of perfection human being. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
So he has a suit that makes him
Well, yeah, like Cap's
helps
shield is made of vibranium.
right.
His whole
Vibranium,
Yeah, the
Wakanda.
shield
That's
is-
where it's it. All the vibranium in the world is in Wakanda.
Okay.
So Black Panther, he controls the market on that stuff.
Right.
And you know he's got a suit made out of it and everything. And I'm very interested to see Claw, who is a very prominent character in Black Panther, you know, mythology. If you watch the Avengers trailer, Andy Serkis, who, by the way, if you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he's Gollum. He's Caesar from Planet of the Apes. He's like the biggest deal in
Let's,
mocap.
Let's talk about who they casted as Black Panther real quick.
Okay, that's Chad Boseman.
Okay.
I have personally not seen something he's in.
Okay.
I know two
Now
things.
the
that
movies he has been in.
he was in. This is Get On Up, where it was basically a biography of James Brown, or autobiography of James
Who
Brown.
doesn't like James Brown?
I love James Brown.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Black
so
Elvis, am I allowed to say
well,
that?
exactly. and when you can carry a movie playing that kind of person for that, you know,
Such high energy, high intensity character through
and
and through.
he also played Jackie Robinson in
In
42.
42.
Yes,
That's a really.
that's
if
who
you
that
don't-
is. Yeah,
If you don't like
wow, okay.
baseball, you're un-American. That's the way.
yeah. So, football's winning, by the way.
Okay. Nowadays, America's pastimes now football.
But I mean, so when you can carry those kind of leads of iconic people like that in pop culture, you know, and do those kind of movies, to me that says that okay, you can do whatever you need to do.
So
playing a king, you're already the king of the
I
music,
think
and
that-
king of
King of
baseball. Why not
You
be
know,
king of a country?
At
you know?
first, when I was thinking about it, I see some of the other people they thought about. You see Denzel Washington on the list. Let's talk
Right,
about
yeah.
one of the best
Yeah.
actors.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Denzel
Yeah.
Washington. He's on that list.
I don't care what he plays. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's
yeah.
good. You're gonna go watch that movie. He can play any role. That's somebody who's on that list, and then you see him, and he's actually getting casted as Black Panther, and I'm okay with this because the movies he's played in, I think he'll do good. He's younger than
Yeah.
Denzel,
Yeah.
and that's a big part to do with it.
Yeah.
You need somebody who's strong, bulky, fast, energetic, proud,
Right.
leader, and that's this character.
Yeah.
I think
They're having to cast younger and younger because look at it. These movies are slated to go years and years and years on.
so. Yeah,
And the original Avengers crew, they've been doing this for years and years and years. They're getting older. Somebody's going to be replacing these things. So
and that's going to be hard to do.
exactly. But that if this is to continue, that's
That's
what's
what's
going
gonna
to
happen.
happen.
How old
So,
is Denzel right now? Anybody?
40 something,
50s?
50,
Yeah,
40,
early
late
50s.
40s.
I'm pretty sure
late
he's in his
50s.
50s.
He's
Yeah.
old.
Got another 60 years in him.
If he's acting like that, he's fine.
He's
Yeah.
not Morgan Freeman, dude.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
let's talk about the
Well, let's all right. What's your point on this one?
the thing is that what I was gonna say about let's talk about the basically I think that Civil War is going to be, if they don't do this right, that's going to be very crucial on a lot of parts. Because this has to be where Fox, where everybody has to tie into this. That has to be done for this.
Well, I think this is gonna. Well, I'm on board with this because Marvel is so good at tying everything in. Even their TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it is all about tying in and everything meshing together and stuff. And everything that's gonna. I think Age of Ultron is going to affect a lot of what's going to happen in Civil War. And I think Civil War is going to affect what's going to happen in the other ones and stuff. And it's just going to steamroll from there. And that's why, Marvel, they're doing it right. Tying everything together that way, it's working. They're doing it right. I mean, Civil War is not one that I really have a problem with. Especially, like I said, if you haven't watched the episode, as a matter of fact, when we cut this episode, let's go watch it. I mean, it's very, very good. It's very telling. But that's about all the time we got today on these episodes. When we come back, next topic's going to be, what's next in line? Looks like Doctor Strange. By the way, preview, hell yeah. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. Hell yeah. Okay, the one if out of the list of movies that Marvel announced that they're coming out with, I'm the most stoked about this one.
And you know what? I seen the Doctor Strange animated on Netflix.
Yes.
I guess I need to watch it now.
It's very good.
Awesome.
It's very good. I actually own that.
Doctor Strange is another one of those characters.
Oh my gosh, dude!
He's another one of
Stephen
those
Strange, dude.
He's another one of those super important characters that just you don't have to know a lot about. You just have to know why he's important and what he does.
Yeah.
Well, you heard that. I wasn't going to watch Doctor Strange, but now I'm going to watch it because he's important.
All right, real quick before we end. All right, Captain America: Civil War. How do you feel about it?
I'm more excited about this in the way they announced the Justice League movie, and I'm all about DC.
Yes, right.
And that is crucial to me because the Civil War in this is such a turning point in comic books. You have best friends fighting each other. That's like me and you. We see eye to eye on a lot of things, but you finally see something different. We're now enemies because I'm standing up for what I believe in. You're standing up for what you believe in. We're both super powered too, so it's gonna make a good fight. You have super strength, I have super speed. That's
whatever.
Whatever it is gonna be, it's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait for it. I hope that that's the angle they take at it, and not some other bogus way.
Oh yeah. That would
and
be
you know
very
what? Something I also may see. This may be where Rogers drops the mantle. This may be where Bucky actually takes up the plate. I think that's
another spoiler.
But
we're gonna have to touch that. We're gonna have to touch. I'm gonna make a note, and we'll touch that in the beginning of the next episode.
But you're for?
Oh man, I love Tony Stark. I love Robert Downey Jr. as an actor and as Tony Stark. He's so charismatic in that way. But when it comes down to it, these people, it's like nowadays they're basically wanting you to go through the system. Show me your papers. That's basically what they're asking you. This is back to everything that Captain America stands against.
Yeah.
He's reliving World War II Nazi Germany. That's what this whole thing's about to him and his mindset.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to side with Captain.
All right.
You just have to.
Brandon, what are you feeling?
Well, going through with the theme of the Civil War, I will not see this movie because I have to disagree with y'all because we have to have something to fight civilly about. What the hell about that? Of course I'm gonna see this movie, man. This has everything, man. Every superhero it should have everyone in here. We'll hopefully
Let's hope.
Marvel, Sony, Fox, get
might be
your
a few
stuff.
cameos.
Seriously, like you want blockbuster? You think Avengers came out? It was the biggest movie ever. Superman came out? It's the biggest movie ever. You want if Marvel, Fox, Sony, whoever's got a stake in
Part
this,
in whatever,
will just say, hey, like.
Let's
Put all
do
these
this,
stuff together. Let's get in this together, and we could make a movie that would never be topped again. And they'd be like, yeah, we can do that, but you better.
There can only be one.
And that can only be hoped for because it's not gonna happen.
So Captain or Iron Man?
Oh,
Pick your side.
so far as the actors playing them, I like Tony Stark and Robert Downey better. But so far as the actual sides, I'm on Iron Man. I mean,
Cap.
Cap sides.
You have to be.
I'm on Captain Iron Man side.
If Civil War wise, by the way, the movie's a huge buy. I'm there. I'm all for it. It's gonna be good.
Cannot not be.
But as far as like picking a side, if I was in that comic world and I was one of those heroes, I'm with Cap. I'm not worried
Side
about
by
going
side,
home with my
absolutely.
family and whoever
Gotta go work
knows
my 40
who I
hours.
am and is going to blow up my house with my wife and kid in it while I'm out trying to save the world or whatever, just not going to happen. So I pick Cap.
Well, I stand behind Captain Morgan. And Captain Morgan stands behind the captain. So I have to go with the
Puerto
captain.
Rican rum stands behind him.
That's right. How much more American than that?
I have to go with Captain America. And Captain Morgan goes with Captain America.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we got for the episode today. We'll be back and we'll start with Doctor Strange, and we'll kind of finish with a few little spoilers we started earlier with Captain America.
Yeah, and if you've listened this far, check out the rest of our channel. It's Two Hillbillies Play, and we have plenty of Minecraft videos that we have on it right now, and plenty more that we're going to be making.
Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and spoiler up a few things. Once we get this channel up and going a little bit, once we hit a certain amount of viewers, subscribers, we will start a giveaway where we will give away certain prizes, be gift cards to like Best Buy, GameStop, maybe some more original merchandise like some comic books, things like that.
Civil War storyline arc?
Perhaps,
Trademark,
yeah.
possibly?
I mean, we can get some things like that going. So
We have the technology.
beautiful.
We can rebuild it.
So, keep listening, spread it out to your friends and everything. Once we actually get the subscribers and stuff, that's, we'll get on that a little more. We've got some giveaways planned and stuff.
So let me get this right. Y'all are saying that y'all's channel has strings attached?
For the most part,
Or
we'll have strings attached. All right. Until next time, guys, this is Ji-Et-Toh.
Black Moles.
Ben Blitzstone.
Down the line.
All right. See you guys later.
Finish him.